The dumbing down of America is in full progress. Everything that you know and love, technology-wise, social media, streaming services, music, everything that keeps you entertained, it's making you dumber. They call these smartphones because they smart, but they making us dumber. People don't know how to use critical thinking skills anymore. People are just followers. They like being told what to do, how you're supposed to think, what you're supposed to believe, what group to get into. People, no one wants to feel left out. Everybody wants to be a part of something. That's good and bad. That's good and bad. But it's really the old school ancient Roman times, really. Give them bread and circuses. Keep them distracted from the real world problems. Hey, don't think about the real world problems. Don't think about the problems that we're not solving for you. Hey, we'll give you cheap food. We'll give you all this entertainment. Yeah. Find a means of escapism. That's what they do. That's what they've been doing. I don't know. How do you get out of it? Most people can't put their phones down for a split second. You go to the bathroom, you got your phone with you. You take your phone everywhere. I've literally seen people who can't literally put their phone down. It's just, I don't know. It's just weird. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Welcome back to another episode of Just Another Number. The first number of the day, 753. Rome was founded in the year 753 BC by brothers Romulus and Remus. Second number of the day, 476. According to most Western history books, the year 476 AD was when the Empire of Rome collapsed. And that's a brief history of Rome. So look, right before the complete fall and collapse of Rome, they were trying to keep their citizens, or people, distracted, because the people could see and recognize that everything was falling and crumbling around them. The elites didn't want the people to riot because the end would come that much quicker. So they came up with an ingenious idea of, hey, let's keep them distracted. Let's give them bread and circuses. And this is what bread and circuses was. Bread and circuses is a phrase used to describe a policy implemented by the ancient Roman Empire. It aimed to satisfy or appease the general population by providing free food and entertainment. This phrase appears in satires of Roman poet Juvenal. No, not the rapper. They held extravagant public spectacles such as chariot races, gladiator contests, and theatrical performances. This was done to distract the people from the problems and complaints of their daily lives. This policy was meant to prevent social unrest and maintain the popularity of the ruling elite, who relied on the support of the lower class to maintain their positions of power. Look, I see a lot of that going on right here today in the great old USA. How is it any different? Today, we have more forms of entertainment than there have ever existed in the history of the planet. More forms. You got your social media, you got your sports, you got just everything you can name, anything you can think of. People use their phones, like I mentioned in the previous video, the phones is one of the biggest distractions there is. We have more entertainment. People are really just trying to be entertained, and instead of using these new technologies that we have to try to learn about history, they just want to be entertained. And I can't even say I fault the people completely, because it's basically, oh man, life is hard. The price of everything is going up. The price of gas, the price of food, the cost of living constantly goes up. It's not because of so-called inflation. Inflation didn't just happen. It's been going on. They want you to believe that this is a newfound thing. Oh, and not to get political, but do you know, it's not even really getting political. But do you know what some of the higher ups, do you know what their solution is? The solution to get rid of the inflation problem? They have to lower our wages. Oh, apparently we're making too much money. Really? We're making too much money? But the cost of everything is going through the fucking roof. Instead of them trying to fight or maybe, kind of curtail a little bit the price hikes, because these companies, these corporations, all of these places are price gouging. They took advantage when they had the thing from 2020. When that happened, they seen the supply and demand, supply chain start to go downhill. They say, oh, well, we have a decrease in supply. So there's still demand for these things. We're going to price gouge the people. And the thing is, that practice has not stopped. It's kept going. It's still continuing to this day. So I've given you a little bit of the history of the bread and circus. Now I'm going to give you some modern day examples of how the bread and circus is still in effect. Reality TV shows. First thing on the list. Reality TV shows that offer an escape from reality to distract people from the more pressing issues. Now, look, the idea came to my mind. I said, okay, let me look this up. And I'm doing it in real time. I do it in real time for the video. I looked up, what are the top 5 reality shows out right now? And what do they say? Okay, number 1, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Number 2, The Real Housewives of Dubai. Number 3, Big Brother. Number 4, Alone. And number 5, Survivor. Yeah, I use my phone. These reality shows, people watch them to escape their own reality. And again, I get it, because they may be working jobs that they look like, oh man, I hate my job. I hate this. I hate that. It might not even be the job. It just might even be the people that you're dealing with at the job. People, in most cases, make the job harder than what it really is. I know this in my personal life. Okay, that's one example. I can see the reality show aspect. Okay, what's the second one? The widespread availability of junk food that provides a monetary sense of pleasure without any nutritional value. Now look, I'm not gonna sit up here in front for the audience. I'm just as guilty as anybody out there. I love me some junk food. Specifically, well, I'm not gonna say specific brands because they're not endorsing the show yet. But hey, look, I'm just as guilty. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. Yes, they are some of the most unhealthiest things out there. But yes, this is also one of the things people use to try to escape. They want to satisfy those, you gotta satisfy your senses in some degree. Life gets hard, so you start looking for different outlets. And everybody's outlet is not going to be the same. I mean, honestly, me making YouTube videos is an outlet for me. It's not really a form of escapism, because the things that I'm providing on my channel, I'm actually trying to talk to you about actual issues that's going on out here. You got a lot of people on YouTube that chase trends and do all of these other things that actually provide you a distraction. They do these crazy videos, and yes, it's very entertaining. And I'm not here to knock anybody here on YouTube, okay? That's not what I'm here to do. Everybody has a platform, and you use your platform the way you choose to use it. But I'm here to talk about actual issues, because if we can talk about the issues, we can actually find a way. If we all come together collectively, we can find a way to get to the bottom of it, maybe come up with a solution. But one of the many problems here in America is we are so focused on ourselves. We push individualism instead of the collective. We're not about the collective. It's literally every man for themselves. It seems like the only time we come together in this nation is for war. But I digress. So the third thing I see, the increasing emphasis on professional sports as a source of entertainment and identity. Again, me, 1-7, I'm just as guilty. Okay? I love me some basketball. Basketball is my favorite sport. I can watch football here and there, but I love basketball. My favorite sport. I'm just as guilty. Yes, I go to work like you guys. I work hard. I do this kind of in my spare time. Yes, I watch sports. I'm a LeBron fan. I was a Lakers fan before I was a LeBron fan. So. But Detroit first and foremost. Always root for the Pistons. Hometown team. We gonna get better. But again, most people can't even have real conversations about things. The easiest thing I find that people can do is simply talk about sports, especially amongst us guys. Like, oh man, you watched the game the other day? You see this? You see that? Yeah, that's cool. And this is how people have conversations. This is how people talk. And it's I understand. I get it. We are all searching for a form of escapism. We really are. And for anyone to sit here and deny it is just lying to themselves. Like, we all are trying to do it because we've all been conditioned in this society to not even think of the idea of coming together to try to solve our problems. And I know it sounds depressing, and it is depressing. So much so that people look for forms of entertainment because they're depressed. Okay, what's another one? Here's the big one. Social media platforms that provide a constant stream of entertainment and validation. But often come at the cost of productivity and authentic human connection. I've been saying this for years. Everybody's online. Everybody's doing their own thing. And being online is or was supposed to bring us together. But it's just so toxic out here, because people feel very comfortable in their homes. They feel like they can say whatever they want to on the internet, and they think there's going to be no consequences or repercussions for the things that they say online. So instead of people being civilized, and being able to conduct themselves online as they would if they were in person, people become trolls. They turn into the worst versions of themselves. Me personally, when I'm online, I talk online as if I'm talking to you in person. If I wouldn't troll you in person, I'm not going to troll you online. It's that simple. And staying on the social media front, people are always seeking validation. Seriously. I'm not going to pick on any particular gender, but both male and females do it. Women posting pictures of their bodies, getting naked for likes. Guys doing the same thing, having workout videos showing how cut up, how strapped they is. And everybody's going to have an argument or an explanation as to why they do the things they do. I get it. I understand. Whatever. You do you, right? As we say to each other. But social media is really one of the biggest problems. It's become a cesspool. I often think about it like this. If a being of higher intelligence came to this planet and checked out social media, I would only think in my mind that being of higher intelligence would come to the simple conclusion of, we need to eliminate the human race. Because it's just become a toxic cesspool of garbage. People, we like to talk and act like we live in a civilized society, but people are not civil. What makes this society civilized? It's people. When the people are no longer civilized, how can you call this a civilized society? Is it because we still so-called ruled by laws? People break the law every day. Just saying. All right, I ain't done. Let's see what else is on the list. Oh, celebrity culture that perpetrates unrealistic expectations of standards of beauty and success. I see so many people glorify and fantasize and literally obsess over these people who they will never meet, over these people who think nothing about you, who don't care about you. Of course, they'll tote the line of, oh, we care about our fans. I don't buy it. Listen, they have people literally worshiping them. Okay, it's literally like idol worship, and if you don't know what idol worship is, please do some research into it, or maybe I can make another video about idol worship. But these people are literally worshiping these people. People know more about celebrities than they know about God, and it doesn't matter what religion, doesn't matter. Pick one, doesn't matter. But people are literally worshiping these people. They're idolizing these people. I mean, Christ, you have a show called American Idol. They're literally throwing it at you. Everything hides in plain sight. It does. Everything hides in plain sight. If I don't want to turn my channel into a conspiracy channel, but if you really just dive in and see what's really at play here, if you really can get a look at what's going on behind the scenes, all of this stuff is very obvious to the people who know. And yeah, it's called being woke. Being woke can have many different meanings, and they try to demonize that word of being woke. Well, I'd rather be woke than asleep. I ain't gonna be asleep. I'm very aware of what's going on out here. So you keep being entertained. You keep being deceived and not watching and recognizing the signs. You keep not reading about history. You keep just being entertained. Just keep being entertained. And look, the last one on my list, this one is near and dear to me personally. And I almost hated it when I seen it, and I'm like, I don't want to include it, but I'm gonna include it in the show just because of, gotta be fair, right? Video games and other digital media that offer an alternate reality and escapism from the challenges of the real world. That one is near and dear to me personally. I love video games. Obviously, I could make a gamer channel, but I don't want to do that. Look, video games do offer a form of escapism. This is very true. I know this personally because I do this. Even now, even after I make this video, I'm probably going to go play the video game. But the difference between me and most people is that I'm actually aware of the societal problems and the issues that are at hand. And what am I doing about it? I'm actually really just trying to spread awareness, because the more awareness I can spread of these things, the more maybe we can come together, build a collective, come together as a collective to build a coalition to maybe start getting the wheels moving in the right direction. Some of it has to do with politics. A lot of it has to do with just general grassroots movement, people talking to each other, people beginning to stand up and recognize what's going on. You have these big corporations that are taking over. They're taking over the natural resources. I mean, I seen a video on TikTok, literally, of a woman talking about how Nestle is literally trying to buy up all the water resources.
I'm about to expose the fuck out of Nestle. This is in regards to my other video where I'm talking about the Nestle crimes. I was not expecting that video to get as many views as it did, so thank you guys. If you followed me, my name's Angeli, and I talk about this real world, like conspiracy shit all the time. There is not possibly enough time in one video for TikTok to talk about all of the shit that Nestle has done. So most of us know this already, but Nestle owns a shit ton of water. Nestle owns over 50 brands of bottled water. They own Deer Park, they own Ice Mountain, they own Nestle Pure Life, obviously, they own Pellegrino, they own Poland Spring, they own Aquapana, and there's a bunch more. So I will just start by saying the CEO of Nestle at one point had said that he thinks that water is a privilege, not a human right. He said that he believes that water should have a market value, just like food and everything else. So one minor thing that's fucked up about their bottled water is that they put sugar and salt in their Nestle Pure Life water, And that is solely to make you more thirsty and keep drinking it. Why the fuck else would they put sugar in the water? But the real shit is, Nestle literally wants to own most of the world's water, and they already do. Nestle bought bottling rights to most of the natural water sources in the world so that they can have control over who gets to use it. Because if communities had access to their own clean water, why would they need to buy bottled water? That's what Nestle's thinking, because they're fucked up. So yeah, Nestle bought up one of the 3 human fucking resources that literally occur naturally on the earth. They just bought it all and they're just selling it. And the other fucked up part is, Nestle could have literally fixed the Flint water crisis. The Flint water crisis was basically when the residents of Flint, Michigan didn't have clean water. They were all getting sick because the water was super dirty and contaminated. So while all of the residents of Flint, Michigan were fucking dying and getting sick from their water being dirty, Nestle found a cute little clean water source right next to Flint, Michigan. And instead of using their powers to actually do something good, they bought the bottling rights to that clean water source and then started selling it to the residents of Flint, Michigan. So while the residents of Flint were paying $200 a month for their water bill to bathe in dirty water that they couldn't even drink, Nestle was still getting their fucking money.
Look, at the end of the day, all of these corporations, all of these industries, mass media, big oil, any industry you can think of, any company, any conglomerate, whatever, all they care about is money. All they care about is keeping their pockets fatter and keeping us dumber. It's about power and resources. And they don't want the common folk to rise up and have control over said power and resources. So look, in conclusion, look, the dumbing down of America is a complex, multifaceted phenomenon that is difficult to reverse. But however, look, by taking steps to try to promote intellectual and critical thinking, we can try to counteract some of that impact of all this mass media, try to improve public education and promote like intellectual values. Like, this is what's needed. Doing so will not be easy, of course. What is? Nothing is ever easy. But see, it's essential. We got to do something. We got to try to start trying to counteract these negative effects that are just dumbing down our society. So, let's all come together. Let's all come together. Let's begin to turn the tide. Will we come together as a collective? Or will you be just another number? What say you?